Right. Hello, hello, hello. All right. It looks like the sound is moving. If it is not, or if you cannot hear me, let me know. Or I guess you wouldn't hear me say that anyway. But there was an update on the software, which normally kills the sound, but it looks like it's working right now. So hopefully, Nero, you're here. Um, Overall, market wise, rather tame morning, right? Pound yen is the biggest mover on the board. The pound is seeing weakness across the board, and a lot of that coming in from the monetary policy statement in 915. You're seeing a lot of that push. Basically, talking about how many of the indicators right here, are showing that inflation is coming down, right? And then BOE policy is already sufficiently restrictive, meaning that they are not interested in raising it anymore. Okay, and again, obviously, that's considered a weak sign for the pound. All right. So with that, 10 o'clock, we do have some CAD news today. CAD overall, dollar CAD up about 37, retracing just a little bit right now. Seeing in the last hour, a little bit of CAD strength rolling back in. I think this is another one of those ones. I don't think there's a chance of a surprise. I don't think it's going higher than 5. I think the CAD is pretty much done as far as what the raises are. Maybe, I don't know. I don't think we're going to get much out of it. But I think it is giving us the potential for a long opportunity in the dollar CAD. Problem is we have ISM services right behind it. It's not expected to change too much. And again, if it comes in as expected, again, hopefully that doesn't become an influence on there. But overall, again, with CAD, coming in, staying at 5, not raising, we'll see what they have to say as far as a restrictive level. I'm assuming their language will be the same as what everybody else's is. That we may be at a peak, we may be at restrictive. As far as everybody else, you can see that Fed's Collins, don't think we're there yet on containing inflation. But Collins has also said, this is her full statement. Where's the other one? Here, I don't think we're there yet, but we may be near or perhaps at the interest rate peak. Talking about how not quite there. So there's other things that they slight other things that they can do. It's kind of a weird statement. I don't think we're there yet in containing it, but I think we're at the peak. I don't know if that's a just let the cards go or, what the thinking. Like if the votes today, is she voting yes, raise it, hold it, pause? Obviously not lowering it yet, but talking about being at the peak. Again, meaning that we're probably at a restrictive level, but we may not have a true control over it yet, which is kind of a scary idea, that the Fed's raising it and we may not necessarily have control of it. And I've said it, I don't actually think that the Fed does have control over it. Because I do think obviously energies are a big contagion. We actually touched 88 in oil. It's the highest it's been in, I forget what it was, in a long time. In a long time, it's not going in a direction that is good. And again, unless China gets fixed on a global spectrum, again, there's no reason why they would increase supply in oil, which means it can artificially remain high, right? So yeah, some problems with that one. And then tonight we have trade balance shouldn't do much. Low speaking at 11, not going to be a big thing out there as well. But the biggest is going to be the CAD rate statement, and then obviously ISM tomorrow on Thursday. We do have the unemployment claims number. I don't expect it to be too big of a mover. Harker is speaking, so maybe we get some comments out of Harker about what the with the recent data. What are we thinking, right? Just from another member. And then obviously we have Macklin speaking tomorrow. Macklin probably will give us. Let me see, where's Macklin speaking? So an economic progress report. So yeah, that will probably be a market mover for CAD. It's 155. So we'll mention that one tomorrow, but that may be more of a CAD yen type play. Okay. So hmm. Yeah, probably more of a tomorrow thing. All right. All right. Let's bring us across VIX. We saw the elevated VIX coming from Friday into Tuesday, and again, weekend we tend to see that. No surprise there. Um, Saw it kind of tick back down a little bit yesterday, and then we got back up right to that same level. So it looks like 1425 ish seems to be an area where the uncertainty is kind of sticking and getting stuck at. Eh, I think it's in an okay spot, right? Dollar's down 0.05. We're talking about it pulling back, and you can see we really found where the kind of buyers were. It ended up kind of finally pushing through a little bit more at 10:30, and then it was official. The top was put in, right? There was a top, and then we came back up and we pushed it down, and then we kind of went back up and gapped, and we kind of pushed it. So I would say right now we are on the high end of things, right? 104.60. Obviously, a level here will be based, and again, this is kind of one of those like standard, like little Harry Potter type trades. Um, Boom, boom, boom. We should see a break through it. So, you know, as far as being a stabilization point, obviously we can see we have two sides. A rock, we have the rock and the hard place. Um, High in the curve, right? High in the curve. Comments about, we think we're probably at a peak. Um, again, I think her statement is very confusing because we're not there yet. We're not controlling it, but we're probably at a peak. Um, People are like, what do you mean? What do you mean it's not there? What do you mean we're not controlling it? Shows that there's other factors at work as well. So, yeah, yeah, it's there. Now, indices, Russell up. Everything else is down about the same, about 0.35 or 0.37, right? One's 0.36, one's 0.39 or 0.38, bouncing back and forth, and then the Russell is up. Um, Again, some of those statements necessary are, may be helping move that around. As far as commodities go, oil. Ugh. Oil's up 0.25, but again, we're not at 88. We're at 86.90. Again, way too high. Not loving that one. Natural gas down 2%. We're back. We're getting close to that 250, right? We're at 253, continuing to push down. Gold down just a smidge, 1924. Again, we were over the 1930s or whatever, I think, yesterday morning. So seeing it push down is good. Silver, we were playing with 24 to start the week off. Now we're playing with 23. 23.17, down 1.5%. Again, the comments today, people are looking at that, trying to figure out, oh my God, what do we do with this? What do you mean we're not there yet, but we're probably at a peak? Right? Very confusing statements for a lot of people. But again, as far as interest rates go, saying that, we're probably at a peak. Again, that's good. That's good. It means inflation's, again, there's no need to, we've almost got it under control, which should continue to push to the downside. So again, that's why silver's doing what it's doing. Going across the LC dollar. So yesterday we mentioned that we had the late night news here in Australia, right? And you can see where it is. We talked about where the top would be, and it did. It kind of drove in. It was sitting right on top of that zone. So we talked about 1665. Again, we said it really mattered. Whoops. They said it would really matter where it was when the news came out, and we were sitting on a zone right there. And there's your push. Okay, so there's your overnight trade. 1 to 3 is right there. So it's a little 10 for 30. A little 10 for 30. Where it is right now, I'd say we're basically in a consolidation phase. I still think this level up top is pretty decent. Very strong drop in base and then very strong push back out again. So I do think that this level right here is great. The 64.24. Obviously, this news is past. We don't need it now. But we do know we have this news right here. We have balance of trade in Australia. And we do know that we have, maybe it's the balance of trade. Maybe that's what does it. Um, we do know we have a news release up there. So could this be a turning point? Um, could we be looking for a potential trade right here? Maybe, maybe. But right now, with a racetrack in there, again, it's got two little small tops in here. But if it continues to drive through with this dollar weakness in, which I think is actually not horrible, I do think this continues to go higher. Right now, we're kind of in a consolidation phase, right? With it kind of pushing back and forth, right? But again, decent buy down here. It did push it to the very, very brink. So at this point, I don't think it's really an option for us to take that for long again. Um, I think right now we're looking for more of a short. So I think we're looking right now for this one to come all the way back up top. Go right to 25. Um, hmm, see. Um, Actually, if we hit that before the news, I'm actually okay with that too. But maybe, I mean, again, it's got a 25 pip ATR, a little bit over 4 hours. It should slow down a little bit. But yeah, if we can hit that around noon, 1 o'clock, I'd be okay with that pushing back down as well. Yeah, I'd be okay with that one. I'm not. How big is that risk? 9 pips? Yeah, okay with that. I think that's pretty good. All right, ASEAN. So ASEAN, you can see this one. We talked about being there for news. Obviously, we were kind of sitting in the middle. We weren't at either two levels for news. It did rally its way back up again, and about 6 o'clock this morning, it did hit the 24.27. You can see right now. The hard part about this one is you can see all the buying happening right in here. So to put a target error, it's nice to say, oh, listen, we can only take 1 to 3s. It's nice to do that, but you still have to trade what you see in a chart. This is one of those ones where if you needed to adjust it and say, hey, listen, we're just going to touch this one here. This is a 2.28. You may not have wanted to take this one because a 1 to 3 required a move there. The problem is with this black line is right here. There's a lot of buying happening in this level, right? With all the buying happening in this level here, right? You can see it bounced off that same exact level. So it's kind of hard to put a profit target just because you pick a number that you want when it is beyond an area inside of a chart. Okay, so it is pulling back up now. I know some people will put those things on and then, like, once it's on, it either hits profit or hits out. Um, you need some help. You need some help. If anything, you were up you were up 26 pips, so you were risking 26 pips for four. Maybe you get stopped out at break even. I don't know. But again, nice little reversal back down. Again, it looks like the 8:30 time frame this morning really is what kind of turned this one around and moved the yen. So, again, you may or may not have gotten into this trade. The biggest thing I would have said is look at all the buying happening right on that black line there. To ask price to go beyond that, um, it's kind of a hope, right? You're hoping that it goes beyond that. It's always a little bit dangerous for it to continue to push there. And in this case, what you see beat what you hope for. So, yeah, it is what it is. So we'll see how it goes out. Overall, it did push a little bit deeper in. This is hit number 3. So, is it the worst hit? No, but again, number 3 is not as high quality. It is rallying back up again rather quickly, so we should see a kind of push over. At this point, I would like to know, and again, not necessarily to trade it long, because we do have a level right above and the 78. I'd like to see when it goes through. I'd like to see again. We've hit this top area, but depending on how it goes up there, there may be actually another set of buyers up there. I'm sorry, sellers up there, just because it was such a strong push and deep push out of it. There could still be sellers up there, but right now, again, you could still be in this trade. You could be up, what, I don't know, 10 pips right now, something like that. Again, You should have gotten yourself out down here, right above where it kind of turned around. If you didn't and you're still in, again, you're still profitable. Don't have this trade cost you any money. Okay. All right. Let's see. Euro dollar. So yesterday we were sitting over here. We were looking for kind of a somewhat of a turn and a push. Looks like we ended up getting a zone at 11 o'clock yesterday here and kind of put a bottom. It's a one candle base, a strong push in base, and a punch out again. And then it grabbed it and it went. And all it did was it went back up. And we marked this level off yesterday. I'll use this one. We marked this little level off yesterday, right? Talking about being 10 pips. Um, Again, it's kind of at the 23. Here's where the bottom is. So the 23 is a little bit higher. We were calling for it to be somewhere down in this level, but knowing that this was an area where sellers were, they were confirmed. It looks like it hit it here. It kind of chopped and then hit it again and kind of pushed around. Um, it's not really trending right now. It's more just moving sideways. Hmm, hmm. Problem with this is we have a new confirmed level here with only one touch. Okay, the level of 23. Love this. All over this. Love the fact that it had a confirmation. Problem is, we got a little bit of whip back and forth, and it started to establish some buyers. Hit it, and then now it has hit it again. So, positives 1, 2, and 3. Negatives, it's only gone that high. So, all that exists still. Okay. Now, there is one touch here. The risk on this one is about 10 pips, which again, we like. If we can deteriorate back down again, question is, do we have enough room to run? Uh, about 9 pips. We do have a 30. So this is right now. This is set up as a 3.5, 1 to 3.5. Um, wonder if we throw a little bit of a buffer in here. Take this to 10. There's 1 to 3 exactly. It's gonna depend on what we do now. So if this from where we are now comes back down, then yes, I think we look for it to go all the way up. Yeah, if it comes back up, 2, 3, 4. Hmm. See, that's not horrible on the top side either. I'm wondering if we pull the trigger and go short, right? If we just go straight up right now, right? We go right into that zone. We push right up. If that actually becomes a short, I had a mom message me. I'm like, oh, they're like, oh, he's taking his hunter safety course tonight. I'm like, oh, okay, have fun. Um, I'm actually not necessarily opposed to pulling the trigger on that one either. Right, all right, 107, 107.50. Um, Again, we'll see if we go back up. If this starts to chop back and forth again, that deletes a lot of the thinking on this one. But if it goes up, I think either of these two are pretty decent. Right. Again, biggest thing we need to get through in a little bit here is in 7 minutes dealing with this ISM services. So we'll see where it goes. It's kind of it's almost pushing itself in there for a news trade to take this one short for ISM services. The thing about ISM services is it's already above 50. It was supposed to drop down a little bit. I don't know. Maybe it can go. I mean, the big risk is, I mean, if it drops down to 51, does that really change much? No, but that'll be looked at as dollar weakness, right? That there's already problems. Um, if it goes up to 54. Does that really tell us much? No, not really. It's already, it's already considered an expanding market. Doesn't tell us too much. It doesn't mean they're going to raise interest rates either, but it probably brings it down for a little bit. Can it move 30 pips? Sure. Sure. So we're kind of within that window. Um Wish we were a little bit closer to news. It's like, please just go there. Go, 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 go. Yeah, we'll see. We got about 5 minutes, 5, 6 minutes. We'll see where it goes. It's almost, I mean, right now, the way that it's surging right now, it actually looks like it's going to be more of a short. Close. God, I wish we were there. I wish we were sitting there. Be like, yeah, we got 6 minutes. Pull the trigger. Take this one short. But it's like, just go, just go. So we'll see what we got. Euro pound. All right, so euro pound. We had that big drop yesterday morning, right? And then we actually did find a bottom. And again, it's a one candle bottom. Didn't have the greatest exit, but we do have a green, red, green in there. There's your bottom, and that's what we ran into, right? We wanted to see where that was. We were talking about a little bit of a short. We're looking for a bit of a racetrack trade to head all the way back down again. Once it put kind of this stop in there, it kind of tried to do it, and then it ended up being a good zone and then kind of bringing us back into equilibrium. Now, this one's not really moving too much outside of that range. It's had a decent push. It's up about 30 pips. And again, the comments this morning, you can see 2, 3 o'clock here. The comments actually didn't come out till 9:15, but this thing started to move at 2 o'clock this morning and take off. The 9:15 comments didn't come out till actually right here. So you can see from this morning, it was pound weakness. The news that came out was also pound weakness, right? Get updates. Um, 85 on that. Really excited about 85. Mm. 1, 2, 3 is hit number 4. Here. So little trade set up there. So it's a base, got front run twice, and has one confirmation on. So this is technically the second confirmation. Now the price is pulled all the way down. It wasn't a thing here, but now that pulled all the way down, it's also a 6.18. So you kind of have like a double dip in there. With it basically driving straight up in this basically European session high. How much does it move from European session open? 41. So it's past the daily ATR right now. There should be some profit taking coming in. So there's most likely going to be a short inside of this position. It looks like 85.75 could be where we pull the trigger. Okay. Euro yen. So euro yen, we were looking for it. We knew we had two levels there. We said one is a little bit more aggressive than the other one. We like 1580. You can see yesterday morning we were sitting right here. Actually, sorry, right here. We're a little bit below that right now, but you can see we're kind of stuck in a sideways channel. The top has been put in. You can see we're kind of stuck there to there. So not really trending, not getting really a lot of help. The yen's, and again, this one, the euro's up and everything else, but except the euro, this one, it's more to the downside. So right now, sideways movement, no real trend that we can deal with. We're not an extreme. We're sitting probably at the bottom, probably at the top of the 33%. Um, so we're kind of in that no man's land. I think at this one still. I think I'm still waiting for this. Right? I think I'm still waiting for that to come through. 30 pips. If I'm going to draw this here. going to change the color of it so it looks totally different. I'm going to explain a little bit more on this one. I'll change it to, no, not blue. We use blue. I'll try to go purple. I can't really tell that purple. There we go. Tells a different color. Um, I'm not willing to take this trade. It's 30 pips worth of risk. A little bit too much risk for me on a euro yen. I know it moves a lot, but at 30 pip, a 30 pip zone, it's a 4 hour movement, right? If we can put a bottom in here, then I'm looking for the buy. But I need some type of a bottom put in. Maybe it's something like this. Um, yeah, too big of a zone to take by itself. I would like to see a new base put in. I don't know where. Like I said, something along those lines. Something along those lines. So wherever that base is formed, I don't know where it is right now. We got a little bit of time. It's got about 70 pips to move. Again, little bit of time. All right, let's see what we got here. What do we got here? U.S. service sector demand falters, sparking weakness, growth, inactivity. Okay, so moved in the upper direction, like we mentioned, that it could go in that other direction. So again, that euro dollar. Let's check that euro dollar trade out. There you go. See, God. Remember, I was like, oh God, I wish you were sitting right here. We'd pull the trigger on this one. We would pull the trigger. We're taking this one short. Yeah, it looks like the touch was at 7 o'clock. We missed the trade. So, wah, wah, wah. God, we're looking for the short too. It's like just go just a little bit more. God, and there's the 30 pip move. Boom, it's in. That's frustrating. And even said if it comes above, it doesn't really make sense. They're not going to raise the interest rates off of it, but it'll be enough to move the dollar down. Wah, wah, wah. Yeah. Gotta hate when that happens. All right. Um. So yeah, news is in. Unfortunately, that's the short we are looking for. So the short has happened. We just, yeah. Unfortunately, that's the trade. That's what we were looking for. I just wanted one more push. Ugh. All right, not much we can do. But look for a bottom here. When the bottom comes through, and again, because we are looking for that short trade, this wouldn't have mattered. We're waiting for it to stop. So we are looking for some type of a long trade. We're looking for a confirmation. We're gonna see where it goes. Again, we need some type of a base, a push up, and then that's what we're looking for. Could it be the level here? That's what we're originally looking for. This spike right now, you can see it's about 35 pips. It's got a daily ATR of 25, so it will turn in reverse. Yeah. So nothing I can do about it now. Look at that. So your pound dollar, obviously out. 23 pullback. We were where we're at. We're here. Yeah. So it's not going to move around too much here. Pound yen, again, 23.6 pullback. This we were talking about this one yesterday. Again, kind of the same thing. It hit it at 2 o'clock this morning, and then again, that news obviously drove it much lower. So this trade is out, an easy, 50 pips on that one. Again, we set that up. We were sitting right here yesterday, talking, or right here, talking about, again, it's a 23 now. Look for a push. It's out. So, you're plus 50 on that one. And again, that just helped it. Kind of funny that they knew in the European session. They knew, right? Pound weakness, dollar strength. Um, Pound yen. All right, so pound yen, we were actually looking for a short yesterday. It looked like we capped out at 12. We were looking for just one more surge. It grabbed this level right here. It's one of those things like this being a step, always hard. It is a confirmed level, and that's what it used. We were looking for kind of more of an extreme on this one. It turned and rolled back to the downside. Um, oops. Um, Right now, I don't think you touch this one. Again, the yen's taken over right now. We're seeing yen strength across the board. There are bars coming down, so there probably will be a reversal. But right now, I think we need to wait for this one to get back to an extreme level. Um, Again, nice push off that one. It's a shame that it grabbed that zone there. This is just I hate this. This garbage back and forth. You know what? Let me see. Maybe I could. It doesn't get much better on a 1 hour. The whip back and forth is like, ugh. There's a decent 4 hour though. So look like not my favorite, but it may be what we have to work with from a top side just to get a little bit more aggressive with it because of the confirmations in here. Right now, unfortunately, with this going back and forth the way that it is, it's not great. And again, seeing the whip back up, I think it's this whip right here, the 3 o'clock in the morning one. Um, Not the ideal opportunity. Right now, we got room to run. If anything, I like it to come all the way down here to the 55 mark. Right. Yeah. Yeah, I think we wait till it comes back down again. I think we can get a little bit more aggressive. I think we can take some shorts in here, the 85.62 area. Again, it's a 4 hour level. Let me bring it back up to 4 hours so you can see it. It's a decent push. Again, strong tube thing up. Again, lower highs on the 4 hour with the base. It came down and then touched it and then took off and really collapsed. Not necessarily a parabolic move. Again, 4 hours, the candles tend to be a little bit longer. But I do think that could be an area up top because there wasn't really much telltale sign there. I do think that that could be a decent turn and roll back to the downside. So keep that on your radar. Again, this pair has been pretty disappointing lately with the movement that it's had, but I think it's doing what it's doing. It's just there's too much chop down in here. There is a little test, but I'm not interested in pulling the trigger off that one. I want to see it come all the way down to 183.55. Dollar CAD. All right, so dollar CAD. Let's see. Obviously that came in. I was trying to see if they gave us any statement on it. I don't see a statement on it yet. Balance. Um, Prepare to raise interest rates further if required. All right. Okay. It's concerned about sticky inflation, prepared to hike again. Um, Higher CPI in the near term. Yeah. Signs excess demand easing. Like it hype impacts growth. Yeah. Okay. So it's like we're ready, but everything right now look good. So they think it's an okay statement. That's why you're getting the chop there. It wasn't a definitive statement one way or the other. I think overall, based off of the news this morning, it's funny it grabbed that and went back down again. We need this to clear. Final level. We did clear that. So pips, but I know that we got turns up there. So let's change this to yellow. That's what it's running into. Okay. Um, you can see you bring it up to the 2 hour. It really kind of helps, kind of give you a better look at it. Um, Looking at it here, you're like, oh, where are we going? Where's the zone? Kind of hard to see. An hour kind of makes it a little bit easier, but when you do a 2 hour, you can see again up, down, up, down. We're kind of maintaining. We're running into sellers, but we have sellers here, but we have buyers right below it as well. So not really a trade setup for dollar CAD. Again, dollar CAD's been really, really difficult to get good, decent trades off of. We are high. Again, everything everything in here could be taken as, oh my god, this is weak. I think this could. Honestly, you could remove BOC and put any country you wanted in there, and the statement should be exactly the same. They're worried about sticky inflation. That's obviously that's what everybody wants to avoid. Um, but not pausing. We're willing to do it again. We're not capped. We'll do it again if we need to. But right now we're seeing it. We know that it lags. We don't want to get too crazy. Is the consistent kind of speech. And again, this could be for everybody. So right now, again, I think we probably bat our head sideways. It kind of moves a little bit. Maybe. I mean, you can see here. Look, more or less sideways, right? A little drop, sideways, 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 one pop, sideways, 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 one pop, and then we drove back down again. And then again, we're running into seller. So right now, there's no definitive symbol. I would say, if anything, it is a little bit more clear to the top side. But again, I don't know. I don't know the full range of how much more it's going to be able to move. Dollar Swiss. Dollar Swiss, love it. I love the fact that we came down. I love the fact that 2 o'clock this morning we came down and we based in this level. I like this one even better now, right? Um, and funny, it actually used the zone that we were looking at. Change that. I want to put an alert on this one. I want to know when it comes back down. So we're good. Um, Whoops, not what I wanted to move. I wanted to move this. So happy about that. We talked about it coming in there, finding a zone somewhere. Well, there we go. We got a base. The base has been put in now. So happy with that one. We'll see how far this one can retrace. Again, that would actually be a break and easy. Ooh, actually, there's actually a little bit of a little problem right there. But I'm good with this one. Look for this one to turn and roll. Again, you're seeing the spike is already being pulled back because the data doesn't really tell us too much. So again, look for a dollar Swiss short. Okay, but I don't have the top yet. Don't have the top, but just for your records, again, 88.80. We're looking to pull that trigger, get back down to the 88.40 range. Dollar yen. Now, dollar yen. Again, missed it by a little bit. Drives me nuts. It came down today, and we hit this at 1:30, 2 o'clock this morning. Right? It came down to 147.015, so 1.5 pips. The spread's 1.1, now it's 0.6, 0.5. We missed it literally by 1.5 pips. Not even 2 pips, we missed it by. Right? We said, hey, listen, when it pulls back, it's coming there. Now, actually, it probably did hit the 23. Yeah. Yeah. You can see. So this is one of those ones where it's like, oh, it's so frustrating. The zone's right there. Unfortunately, they were looking for buys. And again, the 23 people came in there, grabbed this one right and front run the zone by just a little bit. Just a little tiny bit outside, right? Decent trade, nice runner, would have went to full. So if you ended up making it, if your broker actually had to come down and touch, you were able to get this one. And here, we'll put it on there. I'm sure it's, here, I'll see you draw the risk on it. God, I hope Melissa's on the phone. Kip is singing. Right. If you got entry, there you go. You were out. So again, depending on your broker, every broker is slightly different in currency. It's not a centralized exchange, and that's how they all work. You may have actually got an entry off that based off of where you drew the candles over here, as well as where you drew the top of your fibs. So you may or may not have got into it. Obviously at Oanda, or this is actually FXCM data. You would not have gotten into it. God, I thought I changed all these to Oanda, but I guess not. Okay, I wish there was like a simple change all button. Maybe there is. I just don't have it. But anyway, if you had gotten into that trade, you're out. Again, I do think there are sellers up top, decent top on that one. You can see it's touched, but again, it's not something I want to pull a trigger off of. It did come up and touch it again. I think this one has the ability to go higher. And again, if we can get some concerted strength today, or if the yen starts weakening like it should, we should get up into the 148 range. That 148 range is sitting, right up here. That's kind of where I'm targeting right now for dollar yen positions. Okay. I think that's where it's going to. It just again, we got to bust through the sellers, and again, we don't have a zone to do it off of. All right, let's look at oil. So oil, yeah. So yesterday we ended up having a little bit of a gap at 10 o'clock, right? We ended up punching through, and then it really kind of cycled back down. We were talking about 86.02 being kind of where our target was. It actually came down to 86.93, so we were right on where our target was, where we were looking for it to push to. It just ended up punching just a little bit higher. And again, it's 11 o'clock. We didn't look at any of the data that really came out. We knew that it was surging, but it did turn and roll back down again. So again, had we taken it, we said we needed a top. We didn't quite have the top in there yet. And again, quick gap, push up, and our profit target got taken out. We're actually kind of in the same exact spot where we were yesterday at 9:30. We're just a few pennies off from it right now. We are technically below 87, so that is good. Um, we were at a high of what? Oh, I guess today 87.12. So we are high on the curve. I think all the same contagions are there that we've had. I think this is the biggest. I don't think employment's the big worry right now. I think the Fed is looking and solely kind of forecasting, trying to look at the oil situation and energy. Like, oh god, because remember, high gas prices, inflation will pick up as retailers and things like that try to recover some money back again. And think about it. For the most part, most things have gone back to normal. If they raise them a little bit, that's technically inflation. But if they're raising them a little bit compared to what they were at the high, we're just like, oh yeah, it's still high. It's still high. It never went down, right? You're not going to necessarily feel it the same way. So yeah, we're there. I'd say again, if we could find an oil short, great. Right now, I don't think there's any reason necessarily to be short oil. Again, tactical, there is a zone up top. So yeah, let's remove this one. Again, our target got hit nice. I think right there would be the next level that we're really looking at. Right. Um, it's a decent level, 87.60. I hope it doesn't get that high. Hope it doesn't go 60 cents today, but it can. Um, it's in range. It is in range where it could do it. Oh, one of my kids' older brothers just got diagnosed with COVID. It's like, wow, you don't really hear that. He's like, yeah. He's like, Reese has a little bit of a fever, so we're taking him now to go get COVID tested. It's like, ooh, like COVID still a thing? I guess it is. So yeah, 87.60. Look for a turn and potential roll to the downside. Again, we are very, very high in the curve, bearish thinking, but right now on a fundamental basis, I don't think there's enough out there with everybody doing cuts. But the price is elevated because of the cuts. So we'll see where we go. Now, natural gas, on the other hand, natural gas is collapsing as of 7:30 this morning. We pushed. Our targets were hit. We were looking for 255 yesterday. We actually hit it at 2:30 in the morning. I was actually expecting we'd kind of hit it over here with this initial push. I thought we'd hit it there. It looks like it paused a little bit when that market closed and then needed some more. So right now, this is our impulse move. Here's our correction. There is a tropical storm. They have no idea the trajectory right now, but they said it could hit Category 3 hurricane today, or they expected it to hit today. They don't know the trajectory. It's obviously Atlantic side, not Gulf Coast side. That could cause some problems over on here in the upcoming days. So again, if you are trailing this to the downside, be very cautious once we get over here at 246. There's two touches on there. It's an old level. I just think as soon as something officially becomes a hurricane, they have no idea where it's going to hit on the East Coast yet. But once it's mentioned, I think that will start putting kind of some volatility in this market, and it's been beat up, right? It's obviously been tearing back. We talked about getting short at the end of last week, shorting that, having a swing trade this week, and it's cruising. But I think there's a mother nature risk on this one. Geopolitical events and mother nature are things that make the markets get weird, and you can't plan for them. There's nothing you can do about it. Once they give a trajectory to this one, I do think we have a little bit of a spike in natural gas. So be very, very cautious in your shorts. Obviously, trail yourself, protect your profit. Look for 246. It's kind of where we're looking for it to go. All right. Gold. Look at this gold thing. We had the initial spike up and the initial push back down again. Yesterday, we were talking about a profit target on the way down, kind of from this Harry Potter. And I'll draw this across. You can see um, Tuesday, 4 a.m., we came down. 9 o'clock, we ended up pushing back into that 933 level. I'll just bring it across to there. There's your kind of Tuesday morning, 8:30, 9 o'clock, kind of Harry Potter. We were calling for 917.8. It made it to 919.39. We got a little bit more room to go. We were looking for kind of the push all the way down. It's outside of that range. So again, a decent gold trade on it. I think look for it to come down. I think it has a hard time going much, much lower. The reason why we picked 1917 is because this is where the base, this is really where price took off from. Um, this is kind of the level we're looking at. Is it a great level? Not really, right? Spent a lot of time here. I'd say right now that this is probably target number two. So if you're looking for, profit targets, 917.18 and then 914.35, the two ones on the chart that are kind of jumping out saying, hey, this is what we're looking for. Oops. If you hold on one sec, guys. Ouch. I wonder how that works. He's like a lineman in football, right? Um, obviously, I don't know. As a sports coach, I don't like the sound of that one. He's like, yeah, he got COVID. It's like, well, what has he been doing? I mean, he's been playing football games. He's a lineman in football. It's like, man, I feel like if you're a lineman in football and you get COVID, I feel like there's a lot of closeness, right? It's not like the quarterback where you run around or like a wide receiver that you may see another guy, maybe they get tackled every so often. But I feel like a lineman, I feel like there's a lot of people in your face, right? If you got COVID, I feel like there's probably other people on that line. They probably got some COVID too. Yeah. All right. So, yeah, fun. So there's your targets to the downside. Silver. So silver, big mover. Obviously, we mark these off because they're very important. 23. It looks like it came down to 23.02. Was that for the was the bottom? It actually looks like it peaked just below that one. I think this makes complete sense. Again, we were playing with the 24 yesterday. We pushed up. Decent run to the top side. So let's remove this. Let's get some fibs on this one because it's been quite a runner to the downside at this point. All right, that's what I thought. All right, so I would expect we see somewhat of a pullback. If this is truly the bottom, if 23, and again, 23 large psychological level, good bottom. If it pushes back up again, I would say look for some potential sellers coming in at 23.47. Let's see, how far is, can we just take this to 23.5? Let's see, whoops. All right, so yeah, 23.5 may be an area where we are looking to kind of pull the trigger. That would be a God. It's right at the 50 mark too. Oh, U.S. State on Saturday or on Friday. Maybe unemployment. Got to go higher. I wish this zone. I wish this wasn't there so long. But I do think there's probably a trade set up in here. Yeah, I do think there's probably a short in here. So any of you silver traders out there, again, 23.50. Um, again, will be a pretty big psychological level because of the 5. Look for that to come down. Hopefully, this continues to deteriorate. We know that this one has the ability to kind of come all the way down here to 22.88 is the last time buyer stepped in. I think that'd be great if we continue to push down that direction. We need some help. again, today obviously the dollar strength is coming in, but profit taking will be kicking in. So yeah, I need a little bit more on that one. Yeah, I think we need to wait. Say 22.88. I'm gonna see what it does here. It was a nice little bottom. Again, it's not an extreme, but I kind of like where the bottom is. Uh, yeah, I'm gonna draw that there. I'm gonna look for something again. I don't know where. I'm gonna see kind of where it flips, but I think there's probably a bottom there, and it may give us the ability to take some trades this week. We got Apple wise. Apple hit that ceiling. Talked about it yesterday. That 190 mark, right? So it looks like it did. It got to 189.95. So I missed it by 5 cents. It closed up there at that 190 mark. We talked about the big group of sellers, and you can see it's getting hammered now, down $6. Um, Tesla, same thing. Again, drawing with crayons. Um, Now it's straight. And you can see that's exactly where we closed yesterday. We talked about 157.70 and getting hammered today. Let's see what we got here. Looks like Russell rolled as well. So VIX is up a little bit. Dollar, again, not surprised with the spike. It should tear back down again because that's not, market moving. Um, um, yeah. So I look for the dollar to turn and roll. All right, let's see what we got here ES wise. Again, that data coming out, it's going to be a push. Yeah. Yeah, no movement. Look, nothing but straight across, nothing but straight across, nothing but straight across. 9:15. Yeah. So we're sitting in this racetrack right now. We had talked about this yesterday. So we kind of pushed up. It didn't quite give us that full Harry Potter in there, but we knew we had to run down at least till 1440 to there. So we got some room to run. Unfortunately, I hate to say it and be the negative Nancy, but yeah, looks like ES has some room to run. As far as opening print goes, obviously no trend, sideways chopping, absolutely nothing there. The 9:15 candle was basically a little doji in there, kind of. It's not even, I wouldn't even call it a doji. It's just nothing. Open, close, exactly the same. Barely any movement whatsoever. Just totally flatlined on us. NQ. NQ also doing the same chop back and forth. I'd be very cautious with it. Um, Again, if you were looking for some type of a base, you could have drawn kind of a base in here, right? And we'd kind of drawn this little Harry Potter thing saying, hey, listen, when it pulls back, pull that trigger. It did. It came up here and then kind of went back down again. But um, again, overall, there's your base, there's your confirmation, there's your touch. So you could have traded this one at the open. Well, the open is here. You would have missed it on the open, the 9:45 candle that hit. It is an area of selling, so um, yeah, so it's kind of there. Oops, oops. As far as where this moves today, we got a zone down below. We're seeing obviously the parabolic move down. We're seeing the profit taking come in. I'm not interested in taking the roll yet. If anything, look at this one at whoops, there you go. 135.60 is a better area. If we can get our confirmation entry, right? Punch in, punch up, boom, and then go. Great. Otherwise, not interested in taking it there. But I do think it does retrace back up again. If it does, take your profit right there. Okay. So again, a little bit after, could have traded it. Overnight level confirmed. Kind of got front run at 7 and then just chop. So not the cleanest. YM, let's see what we got here. 10. 15. Looks like you would have been chasing this one. And if there's your level of confirmation, it didn't do it there. So I think this one again, just chopping sideways, really no major trend. And we knew we were smashing into two different levels down here. So we've hit those levels. We hit it, we pulled back up, we hit it, we pulled back up again, we hit it. Looks like it's going to break, potentially down into 35.4. So again, not opening print, just by the way the candles are in here. Russell, look at the Russell. 9:30 was here. Nothing confirmed in the overnight. It cycled to here. I kind of get why it turned, but it's really, really sloppy. Really sloppy. Yeah, unfortunately, definitely not an opening print. You were there, nothing confirmed in the overnight. Quick spike, quick drop to the downside. The 9:30 open is here, so minutes red. There was a little bit of buying in there, and it looks like they just trapped people. So it went against the above the Globex highs or highs from yesterday. I guess it wasn't the highs. It was 11, so not quite as high, but obviously sellers sitting there. So, Russell pretty sloppy today. It was down big, and then went the spike, and it looks like it's trying to go lower. So if we're able to burst through this bottom down here, though, again, look for 1868 and potentially even lower, maybe like an 1850 for later on today. So we'll see if it turns bad. Russell should turn bad quick. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and do the drawing for today. Like I said, not as much movement. Again, with the data out, 14. Again, we know that we have pound weakness across the board, 70, 36, and 90, but even that's not that big. Aussie dollar, again, only 3 is not bad. Dollar yen, 8, a little bit more insulation over here. 43, not bad. The CAD data, again, we're looking for CAD weakness. We expect this to go higher. It's up 23. Could be a lot more. And then Aussie dollar, 5. I mean, just not much. So, again, not as much news today. Green number, but not really many people understand, what services PMI is. So, again, I don't think the Fed's gonna be like, you know what, because that ISM services, we're gonna have to raise it again. It's not one of those things where quick news trade and that's about it. So, but tonight with this trade balance, there could be, based off of what we've seen with the Aussie yesterday and the news today, we may actually, with low speaking, we may actually see some Aussie movement tonight. Overall, I'd probably look to get short Aussie dollar. So seeing this kind of rising a little bit, I think it sets us up for an Aussie dollar short tonight, as well as the Aussie yen. Both of them will be in play tonight with this trade balance. It is marked as orange, but when there's nothing else going on tonight, it is what it is. All right. All right, let's go ahead and do the drawing. All right, we got 7 in today. Big day. We got everybody in. Ernest is like, I'm definitely winning it today. I skipped yesterday, but I'm definitely winning it today. And there I was like, we'll see. All right, I'm going to take it to 2:30. That gives us our 30 seconds. All right, let's go. 7 seconds more. It's so funny. So in 6 seconds, I'll tell you this real quick. So I have 2 kids that joined the lacrosse team this year that actually live where the boy's mom lived for a couple years. They went to a school called Bodkin, and like 3 of these kids were like, "Oh my god, we were there too." They were all in the same class together. It's funny. Like this is 5 years removed, but 5 years ago they were all in the same class, and magically through like different names, force sources, referrals, all that kind of stuff, they're all in the same lacrosse team now. It's kind of funny that 5 years later they all got back together. Like, do you remember him? Like, yeah. And it's funny. One of the kids, I think, is who Asher got in trouble with. I think he got caught for like going in some kid's bag to take something out. I think his sidekick was this other kid that just joined my team. So it's pretty funny. So, all right, here we go. Winner of today's drawing is. Whoa. 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 Will, I don't think Will's won for a month, though. So I do think it's been at least a month since Will has won. So I feel like Will was probably due, right? Moreno's been winning it nonstop. Debbie's been in there. Nura's been trading back. Briggs was on a streak for a little while. I feel like Will hasn't won for at least a month. So, Will has tons of chips. Will he barely splurges his spending. But I feel like it's been forever since Will won. So maybe statistics eventually it worked out for Will. So, all right. With that, I'm out of here. I'll catch you guys tomorrow, 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. Good trading today. Thank you for joining me. Again, we'll see you guys then. Have a good one, everybody. I'll see you then. Bye.